Well, as I couldn't get out fishing, and I've got man flu, which you probably hear in my voice, I thought I'd prepare some baits for when I can get out next. Once this man flu's cleared up, I'm going to get out and have a bit of a go, see if there's any coddling about or anything. What I'm going to do is prepare a few squid and bluey baits, but the plan I have is I'm going to inject them with sea goo and then freeze it with the goo inside the squid or in between the bluey and the squid. But I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just going to wrap some baits up and get them ready to go and use them on the beach. This is from Hookers. It's bloody squid. It's got all the juice in there. I think it's black lug juice, as you can see here. So this will be frozen back in with it all. I'll be keeping the wraps inside this pack in the freezer. Keep them in there and refreeze it. I don't want to let it defrost too much if I can help it, because you know what the bait can go like. Yeah, a lot of people complain about Hookers, saying the bait quality is terrible and stuff, but personally I've not had any issues, like ever. It's always been fine. So yeah, I don't know why people complain. Maybe they have issues with the fresh bait, but this is the frozen bait and there's nothing wrong with it at all. Sometimes you do get small squid, but it's not an issue. You just double them up. It's double the scent technically. You got double the guts, double the eyes, double the heads. So I'm just pulling all the frozen juice off them to try and keep it in the tray, so we can add it back in after. So, as you can see, for one pack of squid, I reckon for the most part of most people, that'd be a very big bait for some people. Potentially, my baits would be about this size. I like to use big baits. The saying goes, big bait, big fish. Not that it's happened for me yet. Get the filleting knife, get it nice and sharp. This is actually a really good knife. It's a Berkeley. Comes in a nice little sheath. And yeah, it's a good little knife. It's only short, as you can see, but it's perfect for the beach bait and store it in your box. I chop the sides off these. Just watch your fingers. Don't have to be tidy or pretty. What I like to do is keep the guts inside it, as you can see there. I like to keep the guts inside it, and I'll probably leave it like this. I'll lay the squid up here, so I've got a thin section there and quite a thick section here with the guts inside. I'll have the head end down this end with the squid, then the body up this end. I'll show you what I'm on about now. I'll lay it across it like that. It still keeps it a uniform bait, and it's a chunky bait, but then I'll be filling the squid with sea goo in the little pocket in there, and they might get some in the flesh on the bluey. So yeah, this did quite well last year for cod fishing, so hopefully it works this year. I'll get this wrapped up now. Makes no difference where you start. They say not to cocoon the bait in elastic, but I like to get it on there. And most elastics these days, you don't really notice them there. But as you can see now, I'll just go up and down and just try and get it it's a chunky bait, but it'll be a tidy, compact bait. And with a squid, I'll be able to fill it with a goo. The head I'd leave on. You can take the tentacles off if you want, across there like that. The eyes are full of ink, or well, not ink, as it was juice out of the eyes. I usually pop these with a knife just before I cast out, but you can fold it in if you want. Just try and keep it uniformed. I'll fold it back. You can tie the elastic off. I generally don't. That to me is a good size bait for cod fishing. What I'm going to do is now, through the top, inject some of this sea goo. When I brought the sea goo, it comes with a syringe, and the syringe this end, it comes with a syringe and they give you an open-ended needle, as you can see here. I found it gets blocked with a goo, so went on eBay and managed to find a thicker gauge needle. I don't know if you can see it on the video. It's a bit longer, and this does not block. There is bits in the goo, obviously from the process of making it, but I've never had this block yet. So it's quite a bit thicker. I don't know what gauge this is, but it is a little thin. So yeah, you get a pack of these on eBay for about £3. There's a pack of 10. So yeah, it's quite handy. I've got crab sea goo. I've just put it into my own bottle. I take this down the beach with me like this then. As you can see, the crab goo is quite thick. Get you a bit closer. But with this needle, it is still slow going in, but it goes in a lot quicker than it does with a thin needle. And to be fair, when I use this stuff, I'm quite heavy on it. You can see how slow that is. Now you imagine doing it with the other needle, which is probably half the size in the gauge again, if that makes sense. But that'll be enough there. I won't put all this in one, I don't think, but what I do is I'll go through the top where the head is, as you can see there, stick it in, and you'll see the body change colour on the squid, and the goo comes out everywhere. Here you can see the brown down the side of it there, inside. I'll go in there. And it's just starting to come out the bottom as well. And I'll get a bit in between the two. Hopefully it'll soak into the bluey meat. It is messy, but yeah, that's full of sea goo. What I'll do is freeze it like that. If I squeeze this, you'll probably see it coming out the end. You can see it squishing out. I'll freeze it like this, and then I'll probably give it a top up of sea goo when we're down there. So there's one bait in the bag, ready to refreeze. And I'll carry on now. I'll wrap a few more up, but I'm going to use the head of the bluey. There's a lot of scent in the head, so I'll probably poke a few holes in it just before I cast out. But you can see they got the guts in there as well. Same again, I'll lay them side by side like that, and it makes a nice bait. It is big. A lot of people wouldn't use a bait this big, I'm guessing, from the shore, but I chuck out a big bait. A cod has got a big mouth. Even the small cod of £1 would swallow this. So yeah, I'll wrap this up like this. Right, I'm pretty much finished now. Show you another thing that I generally do. I get all the chopped up bits of bluey, little offcuts. I've emptied the squid, took the head off and the guts out. I find this releases more scent than the squid guts, so I pack it. And what you can do is just use this as the bait on its own. But then what I usually do, I'll still do a bluey and squid wrap, but with the insides of the squid stuffed with bluey, or even the squid heads, just anything. Mackerel guts, just all the little tiny offcuts that you get when you're preparing the bait. As you can see, that is fully stuffed with bluey and the offcuts. What I'll do is, I'll elasticate this now as a little parcel of bait, but you could even add it to another strip like that. I might, yeah, that's getting a bit chunky. No, I think I might add that on actually. Why not? It's not going to hurt, is it? I'll try and do it that way. It is awkward, you do get a lot of the filling falling out. And big juicy baits, and they'll release a lot of scent, and they'll keep releasing scent. I'm hoping for a big bass this year. Beat my 7-pounder that I caught on that lure video I put out there. I'll trim this up, hopefully you can see it on the camera there. Just in line with the body there. So there you go. It is quite thick. I don't know, you could say that's 3/4, maybe half an inch thick. 3/4 inch thick probably. But yeah, I'll wrap it a bit more with elastic because it is a chunky one. And yeah, I'll show you the baits I've prepared. To be fair, I normally do this on the beach, but I thought it's not gonna hurt to try and do it at home for once. And what I'm gonna do is put 2 of them on the hook lengths, ready to go. So they'll be frozen, ready to cast out, and they'll thaw out pretty quick out in the sea. So there'll be a good big burst of scent out there. I don't know if there's many videos like this on YouTube, it might seem a bit crazy, but you think of the time and effort you use preparing your baits. What are you doing? Can you put the camera on you? No. That was the wife bringing me tea. Can't complain. There we go. It's quite short, but yeah, it's a chunky bait. What I'll do is pump this with goo, and I'll show you the rest of the baits I made. I will show you my rigs in detail at a later date. I might even do a bit of a video on making some of them, but it is just your normal pulley rigs. I've got a Cardigan 4.0 right there. Sometimes I use 3.0 and sometimes I use 2.0. They're really good hooks they are. And then I'm pennily with a Coxswain Royal Chinook 2.0. And I find 99% of the time the cod and fish are hooked on the pennel and the big hook is hanging out the mouth. This is that squid that's full of bluey bits and a bit of bluey on the back. I generally try and hook it that way around, so the thin end's there and the thick end's up this end. So you can imagine you're casting that way with it in theory, but what I'll do is with this, and this is the way I always do it, I'll hook in there, come out down the bottom, and my hook will sit proud like that. Hopefully you can see that there. And now I'll elasticate that before I put the panel on. So I'll hold my hook in place with my thumb there to keep the hook straight. And now I'll go down around the eye of the hook. The most part of the elastic is around the eye, just to keep it in place. As you can see there like that. I do elasticate it quite heavy. You don't want the hook turning round into here like this. I keep it up. So I'll go up now, up to top, behind the hook, like that, back down. Now I'll snap it off and I'll bring the pennel hook in. What I generally do, I've got one hook facing that way and this hook will be facing downwards the opposite way. Hopefully you can see that there. Nice bit of hook showing at the bottom and a pennel hook at the top. So there you go. I'll fill this with goo and get it in the freezer. And there we go. Hook at the bottom, right there as you can see. And I've got the pennel hook right at the top there. That is a big, quite a big bait, it's quite long. But this will hold a lot of scent. And it's not a thick bait. A cod will swallow that no problem. So yeah, that's it. You're probably looking at these baits thinking, bloody hell, those are huge. But it works, it catches the fish. They're all back in the bag now, full of juice. And what I'll do is pour some of this sea goo on top. And that's it, ready to go. I'll get it in the freezer like that, pull it out and take it fishing. Well, end the video here. I'm hoping it won't be too long and I'll be seeing you from the beach, giving those baits a test to see how it goes with them. My plan will be empty them out the packet into a resealable tub, airtight container sort of thing. There's no mess in my box, I've got no rubbish with me on the beach then, and it's just a lot cleaner. That's what I'm hoping anyway. If it works out, I'll be doing it from now on. I do usually prepare my baits on the beach, so we'll give this a go. If this works and I find it easier, I'll keep doing it. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And hopefully, give it a few days maybe, I might be out on the beach trying for these cod. It's a bit early yet, maybe, it's borderline, there should be a few about. but we'll get out there and we'll do what we can. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope it helps you out. If you can, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.